Hey guys, I think we're live. How are you guys? Happy Saturday to you guys. It is noon, and this is the time I pop on and connect with you guys, those of you who are reading the book as well along with us this month, and just good thought-provoking things, right? Things that you can apply in life and in business, but things overall that are just good points to remember. And especially right now, as the times are as crazy as they are and stressful, and we have anxiety and all the things about everything that we're watching on TV right now. And maybe you're like me, hunkered down as well in your home right now. Fueling your mind with something positive can really help you. So this morning, I let myself sleep in. Who else is out there? Hey, Sandy. I'm glad you're here as well. So this morning, I let myself sleep in. I'm going to tell you, if you want to boost your immune system, giving yourself time to rest is very, very important. And so it felt really good this morning. I woke up without an alarm on this morning. And so I took a nice shower. And now I'm still waking up, right? So, but that's okay because it's Saturday, and Saturday is made for stretchy pants and relaxing in your own home, right? So did you guys get a chance to read anything in your book this week? I am going to share with you guys a couple pages that I turned the corners down. Uh-oh, who does that? Turns the corners down, right? I do, because it's my book. I used to be like, oh my gosh, protect it, save it forever. But now I really, when I read books like this, I look at them like I'm doing homework, like I'm really studying. And, you're studying and you're hanging on words and points that you can apply in your life. So use it like a book to help you improve whatever area that you want to improve on in your life. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple things that I took away from this week's reading. And this book is an easy read because of the way she writes it. And she honestly talks just like we talk as well, or most of us talk, just very, it is what it is, right? Put it out there. So one of the things that I wrote down that I tagged is that she said on page 127, she says, you totally dog here and highlight your treasure books too. Yeah, right. Yeah, I used to be, after I moved so much, things that I tried to keep protected got damaged or got lost. And I'm like, why didn't I just use it when I had it? So I am of the mind frame in that, you know what, if you got it, use it, right? Use it and enjoy it and get into it. So it helps me get into my reading. But on page 127, she says, remember that you won't even remember this. And I just know at all kinds of times in businesses, whether you're working with somebody else and you have, there's conflict or there's a little bit of a struggle going on, whether it's a customer and, it's just really hard to work, for you guys to work together, or ups and downs in businesses, or you have a problem that you're into, or you're way over your head, or you took something on that you really should have said no to, right? All the times in business, sometimes, whatever, fill in the blank, that we're struggling. On page 127, she has a nice, she talks about just a nice thought about, remember that you won't even remember this, and that's so true. Think about all the hard times in life in general that you went through and you got through, but at the time you really didn't even think that you were going to get through them, right? Because they were so scary or so stressful, or like I said, you just felt overwhelmed, like you just wanted to cry because it was just so hard to do, but you got past it, right? I have always told my son, now he's graduated, but I always told him that, even when he had times in school, thinking you're in a class with people that you might not get along with, or you might not want to go there, but it's just a blip on the radar. When you look back, the things that you thought that were so big at that time, right? Like, oh my gosh, the world will never go on. Like, it is just like, this is like the biggest thing ever right now. It's so big. And when you're in high school, you think that those things are like, it's your world has ended, and you realize that high school, like I said, it was just a blip on the radar for the rest of your life. And so I really enjoyed reading this part because, I'll read a part of it to you guys. Hey, Laura and Chris and Rita and Lisa. And Laura says, and yes, and in 10 years, does it really matter, right? Yeah, if you ask yourself that, when I've had things come up in life or in business, I always say to myself, if I were to how am I acting right now? And, like, how is this affecting me right now? And it's consuming me right now. But at the end of the day, in 5 years right from now, will that really matter, right? What will matter is, the other things, the other important stuff, not, colors and all the things that we get caught up into. We'll get through it, right? She says, try and think about someone who totally had you freaking out. And even, she says, pissed off years ago. Can you even come up with somebody? Is it hard to even think about somebody? She says, if you can you, does it really make you get all worked up now? Or, because we know that, right? Distance happens. Time is a beautiful thing, right? Like the way that we only remember some stuff and we forget other things. I don't know, man. I don't know about you, but it's like, it's a healing thing, right? As time passes. I was even thinking this morning when I was in the shower that, it feels so good to get up and to just let myself stand in the shower, and time heals. And don't you think that water has a healing capability as well? When you get in the shower, before you get in, it's like you might be stressed and you might be just really tight and just really, you just feel like you have things on your mind, or you're stressed, or you have anxiety. And the moment you step into a shower, and I'm telling you, like if I used to do this when my son was younger, if he was having a really, really bad day, the shower is so calming, right? If you take time and you compare it, so time plus water equals healing. You go stand in the shower and just let it, beat on your back or on your bones, on your muscles for a little bit. It's almost like you decompress in the shower and you come back out and you like leave whatever was on your mind. It just washes down the drain. It like just goes away, and you come out and you can take a deep breath, right? If you are feeling that way, then even today with what's going on in the world, just go take a shower today, and don't not take a shower to just relax in, and take a moment for yourself to just decompress. And for that time period, oh my gosh, it feels so good, right? It just helps you. It does. It really washes away things, right? Candy says, this is a bad pothole in life. We will all look back and love you, Sonia. Aw, you're so welcome. Lisa says, shared an office with no windows with a lady who blared metal music when she got stressed. And now I can handle a lot more than I did before, right? True that. Chris is sitting by the lake listening to the waves. Oh, Mom's on here. She says, a shower does wonders for stress. I do agree, right? Time goes on. You look back, right? And yeah, so like this book says that, if there's somebody that had you pissed off, I mean, whether it's in business or just in life in general, that's why I really like this book. She says, can you even come up with somebody right now? Does it even make a difference to you right now? Or a name? You know how we talked about stuff we talked about this week that, if something happened in life to you and you are over, like you're at the point right now where you can talk about it, and you can move, you can look back and you can talk about it. It's probably because you've moved on, right? Time has passed and some healing has happened, and you can look back on it now and you can talk about it. She says, can you even come out with someone? If you can you get even all worked up about them now? Or can you just talk about it, in normal voice? She says, it goes on that she says it might just be a blip on the radar, right? Basically is what she's saying. So why make a huge drama out of it if you're only going to forget about it one day? And I like this. She said, see it as the future non-event. All right. It's a future non-event. All right. Don't even give it your time. Don't even give it your energy, because you'll be forgiving and forgetting about this, right? And moving on with life. So she says, you just have to let it go. So anyway, froggy this morning. I haven't had my breakfast yet, so I need to get up and get moving. So far, I've let myself sleep in and take a beautiful shower. So hopefully you guys are doing some self-love today as well. So on page 137, I dog-eared this page because she said, she basically talks about what you choose to focus on becomes your reality. Isn't that the truth, right? We know that if you've ever, if you have been somebody who's been pregnant before in your life, somehow you look around and everybody's pregnant around you and all you see is pregnant women everywhere, right? Because that's your reality. You're living it right now, right? You're all things about the baby, right? And everywhere you look, it's like, oh my gosh, that's what you see. If you just bought a new car and it's a certain kind of brand and you driving down the road or on the highway, you're like, oh my gosh, there's another car like ours, right? Oh, somebody else has a car like ours, right? It's almost like that car is everywhere. These are just basic examples, but do you guys feel that sometimes when you just feel like whatever is your own reality, like whatever you choose to focus on, it becomes the reality, right? And that is very mindful of right now, because you can choose to watch the news 24/7 and stress yourself out right now, or you can choose to stay updated on the news, but go on about your life and choose the reality in front of you and being in your home right now, enjoying the company of people who are around you, your family, your kids, your pets, enjoying your home. Maybe you don't get to spend as much time as you do right now in your own four corners of the world, right? It's whatever you choose to focus on. Let me see what she says about here. Okay, she says, here's a cool exercise. Right now, look around wherever you are and count the number of things that you see red. take a minute and count all the red things around you, right? I see a lot of red book covers around here, red stuff that I have paint onto. And she says, take a moment. Now, she says, stop, look back at this page without taking your eyes off of it, and try to think of everything around you that's yellow, right? There's a ton of yellow everywhere as well. There's lots of yellow book covers. There's lots of yellow things in this room as well, in art and things like that. But she said, you didn't see it at first because you know what you were looking for? You were looking for the red, right? That is what you zoned in on. So ask yourself, what is it that you're zoned in on right now? What are you consuming yourself with? She says, because we're all set in our ways and we're committed to the stories about who we are and what our reality looks like, we only really scratch the surface of all that's available to us at any single moment. So think about that. If you only want to think about negative, yeah, you can probably find lots of negative stuff, right? But on the flip side, if you want to think about the positive, you know what? You can flip that switch, right? That narrative in your brain, and you can start focusing on the things that are out there that are positive. We create our own stories, right? You can create your own story. And that is why two people can go to the same movie and come out and have a complete different feeling of what it was, right? That is why two people can write an article about something that happens. And you're like, whoa, how did they get that from that? I didn't get that from that. I listened to him. I listened to her. I watched that. I didn't come out feeling that way. I thought it was completely opposite, right? Because we have stories that we tell ourselves, right? We have a reality. And so it's up to us what we choose to focus on. She says, meanwhile, we're totally surrounded by countless awesome versions of reality. They're all just hanging around us, just, basically asking us to, to dance with them, meaning that, you can grab whatever reality you want. So that's why I always say you can make it a good day or you can make it a bad day. Totally up to you. For me, my narrative, my story is that I ain't got time to hang around with negative people. So if you're negative, I'm probably going to leave the room, right? I don't want to hear it because that's not what I choose to surround myself with. What do you choose to surround yourself with? And that's, it can be hard, but it's true. There are people in life that are just negative. They're just negative in general. And that's the story that they choose to hold on to, right? But that gets old, doesn't it? Doesn't that get really, really old? Ever notice in a room, if you have a bunch of people, misery loves company, they can all somehow find each other. And you're like, I don't even know, how do they find each other? It's because they tell each other the same story and they connect. And misery does love company, right? To talk about over and over again, right? But this is your life. Like, what are you choosing to dwell on here, people? Come on. So she says, become aware of what your stories are. And this is another chapter. And I hope you guys are reading this book because it's really, really good reading to make you think about stuff, right? Lisa says, this is a great time to read this particular book. It is. So she says, become aware of what your stories are. And she says, we call these stories because that is just what they are. They are not the truth, right? They can be rewritten. You're the author of your own life, right? Not anybody else, but the sooner that you decide, meaning that you're the author. So who cares what anybody else says about you or thinks about you? Might not be the truth, right? Probably isn't the truth, right? We all have our own truths. You have to figure out what, she says, the sooner you write yourself a better script, the sooner you get to live your more awesome life. So before you can let go of the stories, get clear on what they are. Listen to what you say, what you think about, and start busting through the lies, right, that you've been allowing yourself to think about. She says we get so used to and so identify with our broken records that we don't even notice that they exist or they're not even real, right? So she says, this is the exercise. This is the lies you've been telling yourself and how to identify them. She says, specifically listen for sentences that begin with, I always, so it could be like, nothing ever works out for me. I always end up doing that. I always and there's something negative. Is that really true? Or is that just something that you're saying, right? I never win anything. Come on. We know all the stuff that we tell each other, right? I can't do that. I shouldn't do this because you know what? I'm just, whatever, fill in the blank. I'm too old. I'm not that creative. I'm not cut out for business. Who said that? Seriously, is there a book that says that about you, or are you just making this up? So think to yourself, right? It's almost like, what's Pooh Bear's friend on Pooh Bear? Oh my gosh. Is it Ehor? I think that's his name, right? Did I say his name right? He's like, oh, woe with me, you know what I mean? It's always cloud. What was his thing? Was it always cloudy or always rainy? right? So you have to listen to yourself. I always, I never, I can't do that. I shouldn't do that. I suck at this. I wish. How about this one? I want, opposed to I will and I am, right? Think about that. Be stronger in your words. What are you telling yourself? One day, and you know what word that really bugs me is I'll try. Don't try, do it. All right. Just, reinforce yourself there. Instead of saying, I'm going to try to do this, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you really will yourself to do it, you will do it. So are you a trier? All right. It just makes me mad sometimes because people have potential and the stories that they tell themselves are false, right? You could do anything you want to do. You realize that, right? Anything you want to do, you can do anything you want to do. So what stories are you telling yourself? She says, start paying attention. What are your favorite self-sabotaging stories? What do you hear yourself think and say over and over again that has become who you are rather than who you think you are? All right. Are you letting stories that other people tell or other people's stories, are you like accepting them to be the truth when that's not true? Right. So who have you allowed yourself to become versus who you really are? Step away from the stories. Okay. Bust yourself in your own tired, broken records right now so that you can set about rewriting your stories and creating the kind of life that you love. So if you've told your story, I can't get up in the morning early. Yeah, you can. Tomorrow morning's a brand new day. You know what? Just get up early. Boom, done, over it. We're moving forward, right? I can't figure out how to put a website. Yeah, you can. All right, go ahead. Find some free tutorials online. I did it. I know you can do it. All right, anybody can do it. Go watch a ton of tutorials and make it happen. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it because I know that you are better than that. And I know that you can do anything that you set your mind to. So this is not the place. If you say to me, I can't do it, I'm just going to be like, I block that out because yes, you can. All right. That's a story that you're telling yourself. So in life and in business, what are the stories that you're telling yourself that you can't do something when really you can? You can do anything that you want, right? Be Tigger. Yes. Be Tigger, not Eeyore. Exactly. Candy says, now I only spend time with positive people. Yep. Who lift you higher, make you work a little bit harder. She says, I walked about from all those negative bloodsuckers. Yep. We call them, is it energy suckers? I'm pretty sure they're called energy suckers, right? Energy vampires. The people. Yes, right. What was that show we were watching? People that just suck the life out of you. You know them, right? You've been in a room with people where they talk so much about nothing that you're at the point where they just suck the life out of you and you're exhausted. And while they're still talking, you're still there going, is this for real? Like, I got to get out of here, right? And you just want to leave because you feel yourself just, I don't know, losing strength. All right. So don't be an energy vampire. Instead, be somebody that, focuses on the positive and understands that you're writing your story today. This day in your life can be anything that you want it to be. And it's just up to you, right? You have control of your hands, of your feet, of whether you sit, of whether you stand, of whether you go play a musical instrument today, of whether you work on your business, of whether you go cook up something beautiful for your family in the kitchen, whether you lie on the couch and you do nothing, right? Whether you go take a shower right now just to go leave that behind me, wash it down the drain. All right, I am done because I have better things to focus on than where I've let my brain go, right? Step away from whatever you got to step away from. If the news is giving you anxiety, step away from the news. Get your news, but you know what? You're in your own home, right? And this is your home right now. So you can do whatever you want within it to make you feel better. It does. It takes a lot of energy to be around negative people. Absolutely. True that negative self-talk is hard to battle. And we can be so hard on ourselves, right? Nobody knows the stories that we tell ourselves in our own head. And that's why, like I say, if you can break that chatter that you have in your brain, just the stuff that you tell yourself and you do it, and the more you do it, the more it's like you get more powerful, you get more confident. Yeah, I can do anything I want to do, right? I can do anything I want to do. I remember one time I wanted to go home to visit my family in Canada. And this is when me and Matt were working corporate jobs. He couldn't get the same time off as me, so we couldn't travel together back home. I didn't have money for a plane for me and my son to travel back home. So you know what I did? I said to myself, I'm going to drive from the US to Canada. I'd never driven anything like that distance before, right? You know what? But where there's a will, there's a way. I got a map. I mapped myself out exactly where I knew I was going. I learned how to study a map. So if I got off track, I would be good. I made sure I had everything that I needed. And I ended up going on to drive 2 times, okay, cross country from the US to Canada, myself and my son. All right, I did that 2 times in my life. And you know what? You're a girl. You shouldn't do that. Oh, you know what? You're traveling. You know, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Yeah, good things can happen too. There's a lot of good people in the world, right? Be prepared. Whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to do it bad enough, I tell you, you will conquer it. You will overcome it. You will figure out a way to do it, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. So who cares what other people tell you? You know, you act smart and you be smart about what you're doing. But yeah, I'd love to see the book. Okay. When anybody can show me the book that says, you know, Lisa can't do this, Candy can't do this, Rita can't do this. See, you know, any of you guys, Lisa, Ann, Christy, any of you guys can't do that. Show me the book. All right. Because the book doesn't exist, right? Because you, my friend, are the author of your life, right? This ain't no dress rehearsal. And what you do today is your life. Make it happen. Sandy says, if you ignore all the bloodsuckers and don't engage in the crap, they move on to somebody else. This is true, right? A lot of people want people to, you know, just get caught up in that ball, right? Roll the ball away, walk in the opposite direction, and choose to focus on what you want to accomplish in life. So that's what I'm doing today. And I hope you guys are reading along with me, okay? This really good book right here, because you really are a rock star, okay? You really are. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And you're in control of your life. So I'm in control of my life. And you know what I'm going to do right now? I am going to go out and I'm going to make myself a delicious breakfast and, you know, and fuel my body and go on to do whatever else I want to do today. And I hope you guys will as well. So I hope this chat was encouraging to you guys. Know that you're always in control, right? Don't let anybody take away your control. You're always in control of how you feel. You got this. You got this. And like I opened up this chat with, if you need to go take a shower today, just go take a nice hot shower. Just do it. Come out feeling so good and just let all the negativity go down the drain, right? Take a nice few deep breaths and we can all get through anything together. Just because you had to and you loved it, right? And you're still here today to talk about it, Candy. Good for you. Good for you. All right, friends, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Of course, we do the chats on the weekends at noon. So if you're around tomorrow, come pop by, say hello, and yeah, go read a book. Go, you know, choose what you fuel your brain with, right? Are you putting positive things into it or negative things into it? That you can control. All right. Christy says, thank you so much. Loving this book and you. Well, Christy, I am sending you back love vibes today through the miles. Love all the hearts. Are you catching them right now? And stay well, stay healthy, and do something that makes you happy and fills your happy bucket, okay? All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.